So with the drafting services business package, this package is really designed for the drafting professional who comes up with home plans or commercial building plans or whatever. And there's a couple of different kind of non-traditional streams of income that you, because drafting plans, you buy plans for a house or you buy plans for commercial business. They're expensive. They're not cheap. But what the idea behind this business package is that you get a library of your custom design plans going on. And I mean, this package sets you up with everything from a client management system to your website, your subscription options, to being able to bill customers automatically, to the setup with your CAD software. This is like a complete solution, and like all of our business packages are, but this is really a complete solution too. And this one right here, you can sell a one-off package to somebody that's looking to build a house, or you can have these builders subscribe to your library that has constant new floor plans and constant new buildings, commercial and residential, or whatever you choose to specialize in. Because again, this isn't a franchise, this is your business. They can subscribe to these and log in, or, better yet, so let's say I'm a builder and you, Justin, you're the drafting services package. I can come to you and I can subscribe, and then I can say to my customers, hey, here's the library of floor plans that we have to choose from. Look through, tell me which one you like, and we'll build that for you. So I have just completely, except for the subscription service, I have eliminated the need to purchase these big floor plans, big blueprints of these big expensive packages. And I've just given you, the consumer, a whole array of options that you can choose from. And I have a predictable service that I'm subscribing to where I have access to all these things. And then Justin, for you, the drafting services package guy, you've got predictable income. You don't have to worry about selling these one-off floor plans because we all subscribe to you.
Absolutely. That's huge as far as, creating that consistency, because obviously these services often have fluctuating demand, so that evens things out.
Absolutely.
But the other advantage I would think for the builders is a lot of builders employ in-house drafters that they do not need to use that often or that consistently. So they're sitting there, expending payroll and various costs on a staff member that they utilize, sometimes a lot, but a lot of times not very much at all.
Yeah.
And so this gives them a dedicated resource to, be able to farm this out to, there's a subscription cost, but certainly it's not going to be what it's going to cost you to have it in-house.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the nice thing is this is one of those, pay for what you use type of things. Like you said, with an employee, you're paying for them whether you're using them or not. With a drafting service, if you got the subscription model going, and maybe you need some alterations, maybe a customer requests alterations to a floor plan that is on there, and you submit for like one of those one-off services. So yeah, I mean that costs the business more. That's more income for the drafting services package entrepreneur, which is great, and keeps you busy. But the on the business owner side, the contractor that is subscribing to your service, he's only paying for it, or she is only paying for it when they use it.
Absolutely. And, I think this also creates opportunities for inroads in, drafting projects that maybe a lot of, folks have trouble getting in front of or getting the opportunity to do. I mean, if you're working with, in tandem with a builder and maybe you're, giving them blueprints or plans for various different types of, homes, maybe that same builder gets into a large commercial project and needs, various plans done up for that. Maybe that would have been a project you wouldn't have otherwise had exposure to, but because of this, you've got an opportunity to get, a shot at that business as well.
No, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, we talk about that with all these subscription-based packages, is to where, the subscription is just a way to develop. I mean, it's a way to develop stable income, which is giant. It can't be understated when you're starting a business how valuable that, the first business I ever started, I had a part-time job working Wednesday nights for a woman a business owner in our community. And, the income on it was nothing, right? It just was very, very insignificant because it was only, I think it was, when we first started the business, it was 6 hours a week, and then it went down to 3. But I can't tell you how many times I got that check, and that provided me with enough gas money to go to my next appointment. And so, with this, having this from the beginning, these subscription-based businesses, even if your first few months in business, you only get a few people to subscribe, it's going to make a world of difference. And in 5 or 10 years, you're going to look back and you're going to go, man, what a difference that made to me and the opportunity that was in front of my company because I had that small, steady, stable amount of income. And the opportunities, like we talk about, is opportunities that otherwise you won't have.
Yeah, absolutely. And that subscription model also allows you to kind of homogenize operations and scale them up, because if you're doing the same thing day in and day out, you develop a level of expertise around it, then you can train other people to support those operations and, fulfill more accounts and turn, higher volumes of product and ultimately be more profitable.
Now, you've worked under our business methodology. Tell me how our way of doing things has impacted your life.
Well, it's improved my life in many different ways. I've learned to, operate in business more efficiently, more strategically, with a greater focus on win-win outcomes, where the business is profiting, but the, clients and customers are happy. So it's been a very enriching process, and I've learned a lot from you guys. You guys have that entrepreneurial spirit that just makes for good business, and so it's been just an absolute pleasure working with you guys.
And now, what about financially? How would you say your situation is different?
Well, it's been enormously personally rewarding, financially rewarding. We've been able to do things we never imagined being able to do just a few years before. Your unique approach to business has enabled us to, be more profitable than our competitors. We've had a better work-life balance, I think, than most people who, even get close to approaching our income threshold. So I think really, as rewarding as something could be, it has been for us.
Now, do you feel like our way of doing things has profitability advantages over traditional ways of doing business?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I think you can, tell just by our history of growth. I think are willing to adapt our business strategies, fill any niche role that's out there, and just, capitalize on things that other businesses aren't even aware of. So, yeah, I think we, have had a much greater level of success than our competitors with more profitability and oftentimes less busy work.
Yeah, certainly. And I think too, with the startup series goes over all sorts of that kind of stuff. And just the ways that we've been luckily forced to adapt and learn how to do things with less staff and, more technology based or more efficiency based, just really picking things apart down to the typing of emails or not. Stuff like that makes a huge difference, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Breaking things down to their kind of constituent components, seeing what you absolutely have to have, what's not necessary, and then putting your energy behind what drives, maximum productivity and profitability. And I think that's where we've had a lot of our success.
Now, Justin, what would you say to someone who is thinking about buying one of these business packages, but is maybe nervous about starting a business from scratch instead of going with a more expensive traditional franchise, or maybe nervous about something else with starting a business?
Well, I would say that, now is a very good time, I think, for someone to look at starting their own business. And I think, when you're weighing these options, say in comparison to a more expensive franchise, I think the flexibility that's afforded because you still own and have control of your own business, I think
Absolutely.
that's huge. I think that's why a lot of people start a business. They don't want to have to report to someone and curtail their goal and operations based on the direction of somebody else. So I think you get all of those benefits. But I think the other thing that's, a major advantage is that it is lower cost. You're not paying a percentage of your income for an indefinite period. You just have the ability to take a proven model, to adapt it to your specific situation, to be given all the tools to implement your strategy and your goals and to achieve it. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. As an entrepreneur myself, obviously, that started several businesses, when I look back over what worked really well and what did not work really well, it's the unknowns that are waiting out there to just, grab you by the foot and trip you up. And that's really what I think makes businesses fail. I think there's probably two major things that make businesses fail. Number one is not knowing a system and process that's proven for success, which it takes a while to get there. And then number two is just these pitfalls that every single entrepreneur will face at some point in time or another. And having the startup series as a guide to continually reference back to me, makes all the difference in the world compared to somebody that does not have that resource. And business consultants are really, really, really expensive. It's a good way to, especially when you're in the startup phases, that's a good way to really drain profitability, is having to call somebody and pay them by the hour every time you have a question, rather than just referencing a resource that you've got on your computer.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're getting basically a veteran business model that works.
Yeah.
And you're able to use that from the get-go. So, I mean, it's like, taking the Microsoft model when you're starting a software company. It's as good a start as you could have.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining me here and going over these business packages. And, for you guys there thinking about this, you can submit on our website or you can give us a call at 844-500-6620 and speak with a business launching consultant. Again, that's 844-500-6620. Thanks so much.